Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Thursday. This is Seattle Now. Seattle has a Paralympic Nordic skier competing in Milan. When she's not training for competitions, she's working at Seattle Children's Hospital as a nurse. We'll chat with Seattle's own Paralympian Erin Martin about what it takes to be great at para-Nordic skiing in a minute. But first, let's get you caught up. Police departments have begun to receive the first grants from the state's $100 million effort to help them hire more officers. $2 million is headed to Kent. Black Diamond will get $375,000. Governor Bob Ferguson signed off on the program last year after data showed Washington ranks last when it comes to police staffing per capita. The Washington State Standard reports several other departments have applied for the funding, including Federal Way and Olympia. Bloomberg News reporting Boeing has signed a contract to provide Israel with up to 5,000 air-launched smart bombs. The deal is a direct commercial sale between Boeing and Israel. It's not tied to the ongoing war with Iran, according to the reporting. This is at least the third sale of bombs to Israel, according to Bloomberg. And calling all artists, the city of Seattle is looking for people to do pop-up performances at the Seattle Center. They're looking for a variety of genres, including dance, music, and theater. Artists who are selected will receive $2,000, $4,000, or $6,000, depending on the project. Applications are open now until April 21st. Look for the performances beginning this October at the Seattle Center. We're back with more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. The Paralympics are in full swing in Milan Cortina with a packed schedule of competition through Sunday. Seattle's own Erin Martin is representing the U.S. in para-Nordic skiing events. She does both cross-country skiing and the biathlon, sprinting on skis with pauses to shoot an air rifle. She's already placed 10th, 14th, and 15th in her first three events. Her next event is the biathlon Friday morning. Then it's back to her job as a nurse at Seattle Children's Hospital. This is Erin Martin's second time competing at the Paralympics as a para-Nordic skier. Erin Martin, thanks so much for taking the time between events.
Yeah, of course. It's great to talk with you.
So how are you doing?
Good. I mean, after competition number 3, feeling a little tired, which is to be expected, but overall feeling great. The energy here in Italy is so awesome, and there's such a lively crowd that's watching us race, and the skiing is great, and it's been sunny, which, as a Seattleite, I appreciate. So.
What's your favorite thing so far about being at the competition?
I think my favorite part about the competition is it's such a unique experience to be a disabled person in a community with other disabled people, athletes, pursuing this elite level of competition. And you get to see people from all over the world with different cultures and different languages having this amazing shared experience, and the sort of duality of camaraderie and friendship that develops while also, competing their hardest against your competitors. It's just the most amazing experience.
Yeah, and it's really fun to watch as a spectator, I can say for sure. How did you get here?
I was introduced to para-Nordic skiing through a friend of mine who tried it, who also is disabled. And so I use a wheelchair full time. And one of the unique things about moving around in a wheelchair is that, things like snow are really tough to get around. And so she had talked about how freeing it was and how fun it was to go adventure on the trails and get out in nature and have this really amazing empowering experience on the snow. So she talked me into trying it. Once I started, I was really hooked. It's such a fun sport. So the U.S. team often hosts development camps for athletes to try it out and learn skills. And so I started attending some camps to get more exposure to a more structured training environment and learning more about the kind of technical skills that you need to sit ski.
Honestly, though, what does it take to go from like a para-Nordic skier to an elite para-Nordic skier?
Years of training and a lot of hard work. I train 6 days a week, sometimes 1 to 2 sessions a day, and really 11 months out of the year I'm training. And then we take April off. But it takes truly years. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years, and I'm still, not at the top of my field. I'm still working hard to get every gain I possibly can. It's truly a very physically challenging sport, and also a very technically challenging sport that takes a lot of time to develop the skills you need to race at an elite level.
Tell me what it's like to be in the zone as an athlete.
It is one of the coolest experiences. Obviously, it's something that I would love to do every race. It's not always there for me mentally, and I definitely work on skills to make sure that I'm still staying present and working as hard as I can. But when you have those moments where you feel truly ready for the race and you're relaxed and present, it's just the most like exhilarating, empowering feeling. And just, honestly, one of the most special moments of competition when you can get to that level. It's pretty cool.
As we talked about at the top there, you're also a nurse at Seattle Children's. Are there similarities to the pressure and rigor of competing in your other job?
Yeah, there are these high pressure moments that happen in healthcare, and competition, it's not life or death, obviously, but there is this focus, this intensity, this pressure to perform that is something that I really enjoy and I do get through competition.
How do you balance that? Because I would imagine that the thrill is hard to let go of once you've tasted it.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. I think it's been 7 years now. So I think that the huge adrenaline rush and all the excitement that I got from competing initially, it's not gone away, but it's certainly tempered a little bit. But it is, training at an elite level is, you really are pushing your body as hard as you really can without getting sick or injured for, years and years. And so there is a level of fatigue that is expected that, can be difficult to balance when you have a career and a job where you're also getting stress and pressure from that as well. Fortunately for me, one of my favorite ways to cope with stress is exercise. So I do get a nice outlet for the work that comes with stress. And I also have a really great supportive partner that supports me when I'm feeling extra tired or talks through stressful situations with me, those kind of things.
This is your second Olympics. You're a veteran Paralympian now. Does it feel different? What have you learned?
It definitely feels different. There's so much celebration that comes along with the Paralympics that it can feel really intimidating as a first-time Paralympian. You go through team processing, you get all this amazing gear. There's, people watching your race both from home and in person. You go through a mixed zone after racing where you talk to media, and all of those things do not happen at a typical World Cup. So there's all this other sort of excitement and activity in the Paralympics. The advantage, I think, of being a second-time Paralympian is that you go through it once and you realize this is just another race. Ultimately, there's obviously, you want to do well, you want to perform well for the people watching at home, and you want to represent your country as best you can, but it's still the same process in spite of the added pressure.
Are there trade-offs you've had to make over the years?
Absolutely. Especially leading up to important competitions. I think one of the biggest sacrifices is trying to isolate so I don't get sick. Like leading up to the Paralympics, I didn't go out to eat. I trained at the gym. I wore a mask. I asked my partner to wear a mask when he went out in public. Along with that means you can't necessarily see your friends, especially, I have friends who have children who are in daycare. There's no way I want to go anywhere near a kid with daycare. So I think that there's definitely, especially from a social perspective, I think a lot of sacrifice.
You are doing the biathlon, right, on Friday?
Yes.
So let's talk about the biathlon on Friday.
So the event is called the Biathlon Sprint Pursuit. And basically, it is a combination of skiing loops, a 1K loop, and precision shooting. We use air rifles and shoot at a 10-meter target. And we ski 3 laps and shoot twice, one time in between each lap, 5 targets in a row. So there's 10 shots total, 3K of skiing. Once that's done, that's the qualifier. And so based on how you do in the qualifier, if you are within a certain percentage of the leader, then you qualify for the afternoon session, and then you do it again. But it's basically staggered, so whoever finishes first wins.
What did you learn from your last competition that's instructive?
Biathlon is really the hardest thing I've ever done. It is very challenging to go from skiing your absolute hardest to calming your nervous system down and trying to shoot in a precise way. So, thinking about my last race, it's such a balancing act between figuring out how hard you can go while still being able to shoot accurately. I think in my last race, I was really focused on shooting as accurately as I could because the penalty for a missed shot in that race was 1 minute. And so it was a really pretty steep penalty. So I shot more conservatively than I normally would. And I think that I am taking that learning from that and planning to really try to go back to what I've practiced 100 times and really execute that shooting cadence that I know and can trust.
Wow, you really have to bring your heart rate down and take it down to a very precise level to do that. I had never even considered the transition of the heart rate in those moments.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the game.
What are you looking forward to for the rest of the games, and what are you actually doing in your downtime that's fun?
I'm really looking forward to watching the team relay. First of all, it's such a fun environment to watch races. I mean, there's stands with a ton of people cheering, and it's really fun energy, and it's a really cool event. And with the classification with disabilities, people ski at such different speeds. And so when you have a team of mixed disability with varying speeds, and every team has their skiers in a different order, you just never know who's going to win because the leader's constantly changing throughout the race. So it's just very exciting.
Really, really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Erin Martin, local favorite and Paralympic Nordic skier and nurse at Seattle Children's Hospital. Congratulations on making it to your second Paralympics, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Appreciate you listening to Seattle Now, and thanks to our generous donors for your financial support. Why not take a minute to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast app? Today's episode was produced by Jenny Cecil Moore and Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Vaughn Jones, Andy Hurst, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tonight for Evening Headlines.